Today we're going to be glazing them chaos runes. Yo dog, Kenny Boucher here, Next Level Painting, hitting you up on the literal best of all days. Coming to you from the Beats Lab in Hollywood, California for the first time in 2019. Today we're going to be painting the Black Hammer himself from the Black Stone Fortress. I'm going to show you some slightly more intermediate techniques for glazing in a flame glowing effect in small runes that you might see on some of these chaos models. Let me do something we haven't done in, it feels like, a year. We're going to do a Patreon roll call. I'm going to shout out some clutch individuals who supported me this month over on Patreon. Sergio, Robbie, Baron, Aaron, Nicholas, James, Jaster, Thomas, James, John, Joe, Todd, Bananas, Jonathan, Justin, Leo, Karn, John, Mark, and Brady. Guys, I can't do it without you. Patreon is my crowdfunding page. That's how I keep the lights on. I feel like it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. Let's do this thing. We got this main chaos dude from the new Black Fortress box. So let's talk about this hammer. We got some colors, reds, oranges, yellows, all from GW, guys. Now I'm gonna gloss over some things. I'm not gonna show you every little thing I do. We have over 200 videos from the past few years. Today I'm gonna show you how I work in the Beats Lab and how I get it done. I'm gonna lay out my wet palette with some Mephiston red. We're gonna lay down the Evil Sun Scarlet. We're gonna put all the colors down. I'm gonna thin them down a little bit. I'm gonna show you how thin I'm gonna be working for most of this video. We're gonna be using a synthetic brush and a sable hair brush for two different reasons. I'll go into that here in a minute. So this is how thin some of our paints are. You see I have a little dirty paint water here in the middle. It doesn't really matter. I'm just drawing from it, getting my paints real thin. You can use flow improver or a medium here if you want. Okay, so what we're gonna do is get a red. Any red will do practically. This is Mephiston red, and we're gonna do it very thin inside the hammer's runes, and we're gonna do multiple coats. We're going to let it build up and give it maximum dry time in between. This is about 3 to 4 coats. You can use any red you want. Okay, Troll Slayer orange on deck. This is the next step. We're going to mix it in a little bit with our Flash Skids yellow, or you can go with the orange to the yellow. It's up to you. You can make that decision. And we're going to use now our synthetic brush. It's got a little bit more of a razor's edge on it. And we're going to be aiming center of the rune with this new mix. And we're going to just lightly apply it, build it up from the center, and let it blend in as much as we can get away with. The thicker the paint, the more control. The thinner the paint, the less control. But use light brush pressure no matter what, and you should be able to maintain that control either way. Let it blend in with the glazing technique. And check it out. Rotate the model. Try to get the angle of the model right, not the angle of the brush right. That way you can pull it to you. I like to pull it to my heart. Always get those lines as straight as possible, especially when you're carving in these skinny little lines in the center of this rune, building up these yellows and these oranges. Maximum effort. Okay, we're going to go back to the red. In this case, it's Mephiston red. We're going to keep it real thin. We're going to be using the same little brush, maximum thinness, and what we're trying to do is blur out the border between some of this orange and this red by reinforcing it, because the red's going to look different when applied over the orange than the orange over the red. So this is going to really help smooth it out, create that nice OSL effect. Now we're going to reinforce the yellow. While that's drying, pull out the yellow, get tiny, get right in the middle, stay focused, really brighten it up. Multiple coats will be your friend here. Okay guys, it's go time. We're going to highlight the edges of this hammer. We're going to use any white. In this situation, I'm using bold titanium. We're going to cut in those crisp little lines all up and down this hammer's business. Okay, we're just staying busy in the Beats Lab while some of the stuff we just did in the hammer stays dry. I really want to see how this hammer comes together. Rotate the model, get your lines straight like I discussed. Always trace when you can. If you can always drag the brush across the flat surface like the top of this hammer right here. We're going to let it smoothly slide from left to right. Create a nice little line there. We're going to amp it up a little bit. Create some high point highlights there. Really just staying busy, but also it really helps me visualize where I'm going to go with this effect when I can start seeing it come together. Now, we did airbrush that hammer in a private class, utilizing some blues and some blacks to give it this ridiculous look. So I think it's pretty fun when you start cutting in these edges. It really gives it that quality of otherworldly metal or even glass, or it's white hot blue flame. I don't know. I chose to go with the oranges because it's complement to the blue. You get some warmth and you get some coolness. It's real fun. I don't always focus on what's realistic, but whatever we decide to do, we're gonna do our best, right? Okay, now that that's done, let's go back to the yellow. Now, we have a little bit of that white on the paper. So we're gonna mix that white into the yellow and we're gonna amp it up even more in the center. You're creating increasingly smaller applications of paint as you go. The problem whenever you use yellow and you mix some white into it is gonna pastel. You're gonna lose a little bit of the vibrancy, so you always go back to the orange, glaze the orange back in very thinly, and kind of blur the borders of the yellows and the oranges and the whites. It really looks impressive when the orange goes over the yellow. It really sets it on fire, no pun intended. So now there it is, beautiful flamey orange glowing runes in the center of this. Anyway guys, play on players. If you like these tutorials, check out Next Level Painting on Patreon. Become a patron of the arts today. We offer early and exclusive access to our videos and a rewards program for different pledge levels. Patreon is PayPal and credit card secure, so you don't have to worry about that. We use 100% of the money to improve our process.